What is up, guys? This is Flop, and today I'm coming at you with another video. And today we're going to be reviewing the best race of the year, in my opinion, even though Truex didn't win. So there's a hint who won. Yeah, we're going to be reviewing the Charlotte Roval race that took place at Charlotte. It was an elimination race in the playoffs. Let's get started. So here we go. Lap 1, it was Allmendinger and Kurt Busch that led us to the green, and Allmendinger did not get a good initial start, so that allowed Kurt Busch to take the lead and Larson get up to second. Chase Elliott eventually got up to third. And as the race continued, Larson ended up passing Kurt Busch, and he ended up taking the lead at the Charlotte Roval, and he was ending up cruising in the lead, and the 51 car, after Chase Elliott passes Kurt Busch, the 51 car smacks the wall. It's the first crash of the race. It starts what it will be a forever, never-ending shit show. Well, to be honest with you, it wasn't a shit show, but not really till towards the end of it. So, yeah, the 51 car, Stephen Barrett, I believe, he smacked the wall really hard. So, yeah, that happened, and there was a caution for that, and we restart. Larson pulls away from Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott drops back spots. With 3 to go, I believe Almirola, Bowman, and Logano all went into pit road. They got their pit stops. And then Larson ended up cruising. Oh, sorry, stupid camera. Larson ended up cruising to a Stage 1 victory. That definitely helped Larson, especially what I'm going to talk about at the end of this race. So that really helped Larson a lot. Before I get into Stage 2, I just want to apologize if this video comes out really late. It's because there's a lot of things that have been going on in my house, and that I'd rather not say. And plus, I had to go mow the lawn, so that's a thing. So, we continue. Green flag for Stage 2. Let's see. Larson, obviously, he leads throughout Stage 2, and then as he goes into pit, he's on a 2-stop pit strategy. Ryan Blaney takes the lead and kind of didn't fall back from there. And William Byron was in the top 5 for a little bit. I was really, it was pretty impressive to see William Byron have a top 10/top 5 run, knowing how William Byron's season has been throughout, the entirety of 2018. So he blew a tire, and Eric Almirola was behind him. Almirola, this would be major championship implications. Almirola went and smacked the wall on the outside, damaging the side of his race car. He eventually had to go in and pit. So did William Byron. And then Almirola got an uncontrolled tire, and at that point, I think Almirola dropped back from the cut line. It was like Ryan Blaney and Bowman, or Boyer and Bowman, that were on the cutoff in the middle of Stage 2. So Almirola hit the wall. He would drop back even further. Hamlin and Eric Jones actually tried to get up through the field on pit strategy by, staying out a couple of laps, because they were both in a must-win situation halfway through the race. So both Eric Jones and Denny Hamlin kind of had to really fight one through the rest of the race. And sorry if I'm not looking at the camera right now, because I'm just trying to think and recall what happened. So we go green for, actually no, we stay green for Stage 2, and Chris Buescher, I guess he wheel hops or something like that, or he got loose. And Austin Dillon, yes, my biased opinion, Austin Dillon goes up and he smacks the wall really hard, damages his car, and this is also in Stage 2. He damages his car, he ends up going around the track and going into pit road, and Ryan Blaney ends up winning Stage 2. Really good for Ryan Blaney once again. Both Larson and Blaney with that stage win, that will in the end really help them throughout the race, especially Kyle Larson. So good for Ryan Blaney in winning Stage 2, and we continue on. So we go green for Stage 3, the end of the the last stage of the race, and once again, Austin Dillon smacks the wall really, really hard. And, actually, no, before that, we go green for Stage 3. And once again, Eric Almirola spins out and Chris Buescher spins out. And he ends up getting one of the Echo Peaks stuck to the rear of his car, and he ends up having to try to wheel that thing back to pit road and get that thing off, because obviously Chris Buescher wasn't having a good race to begin with. I mean, he ran like top 15, but like really he didn't have a top 5 contending car is what I'm trying to say. So Chris Buescher, it's one of those instances where that happens. So Almirola, things just looked even worse for him. He already had a damaged car to begin with. There was tape everywhere. It didn't seem like Almirola was going to make it too much farther, so that wasn't good. We go green for stage 3 once again, and AJ Allmendinger, for whatever reason, he decides to fly into turn 3 or turn 1 and hit Denny Hamlin's corner panel, and he ends up getting a tire rub, but eventually it went away and he went into pit road. But boy, I don't know how Denny Hamlin felt about that. I don't know if he was pissed off, happy about it, but props to AJ Allmendinger, and thank God Hamlin's out of round 1 or the round of 16. Yeah, that's a spoiler alert. Hamlin didn't win the race, neither did Eric Jones, so I'm spoiling this right now. Both Eric Jones and Hamlin got eliminated from round 1. Had Hamlin not had those bad runs and had Eric Jones not gotten that wreck at Vegas, I really think it would have been a different story, but sucks for Hamlin and Eric Jones. They all around had a consistent season. Not Hamlin, but Eric Jones. But really sucks for them. I hope they have a good year next year, and I guess just try to go out and win a race at this point. So that happened, and then Austin Dillon hits the wall once again. He ends up clobbering the wall this time, going into turn 16, and he had to pull into pit road, and I guess because he was already in the garage, NASCAR decided to call a caution for it anyway, which I still don't know why. So yeah, NASCAR decided to call a caution, and Austin Dillon, he would get eliminated from the playoffs at that point because he was too many points back, and he really couldn't regain any of the points. So there's 3. I'm not going to spoil the 4th yet, but yeah, Austin Dillon got eliminated from round 1 of the playoffs, and yay, one-hit wonder this season for the Daytona 500 is out. Happy Hamlin and Dillon are out. They're very undeserving. Sucks for Eric Jones, though, even though I really don't care for Eric Jones, but yeah, it really does suck for Jones, considering he had that one win and he was consistent the rest of the season. So we go green again. Stenhouse and Menard lead us on the front. Stenhouse ends up getting contact with someone, I forgot who it was, and he ends up getting a tire rub as well, because when do you not get tire rubs at the Roval? So yeah, and then he started dropping back, and then Brad Keselowski was really saving fuel as he moved his way up. He passed Ryan Blaney, so did Larson, they passed Menard and all that. So really, it was a battle for the rest of the race scene between Brad Keselowski and Kyle Larson. And they were really battling it out. And Larson and Keselowski, Keselowski was saving too much, but when you noticed Larson was right behind him, they started going at it. They were side by side, bumping and banging. In the end, it was Brad Keselowski who got the benefit of the doubt. And he was able to hold on to the lead against Kyle Larson. But man, that was some awesome-ass racing. That's the kind of racing I like in NASCAR, and that's the kind of racing NASCAR needs. They don't need these crashes, dumps, whatever. They need solid, good, side-by-side, hard racing. That's what I like. So, good racing both by Keselowski and Larson. They bumped and banged a little bit. They didn't race each other dirty or anything. So, yeah, good racing on both their parts. Keselowski had the benefit of the doubt. And then this is where the race went complete bazingas. Stenhouse blew a tire, hit the turn 1 wall. He was done for the day after that. And that brought out a caution, which would change the entire fucking race. Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, Jimmy Johnson, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Paul Menard, everyone else basically stayed on in pit road. I think Kurt Busch and Michael McDowell went in, I want to say. I think they went into pit road, and they went to get new tires, so I thought, maybe if the race continued to be a shit show, they'd be able to make up positions. And so, we go green, and my least favorite part of the race, where Keselowski was not able to brake, slams the turn 1 wall, Larson and everyone else slides in, Kyle Busch slides in and gets hit, Larson gets destroyed, Blaney gets hit a little bit, Keselowski gets hits everywhere you can think of, Trevor Bayne got hit, Daniel Hemrick got hit. the big one at the Roval, and the fans were cheering because, I'm going to own last car in all Rex. Oh, hell yeah, motherfucker. Oh, let me blame my sister while I watch these cars crash, and let me see all these spending costs of these teams go downhill and watch them shut down. I love Rex. You know what I'm saying. Wow, NASCAR fans. I know Ganassi may look funded because Kyle Larson's been running consistent in that 42 car since 2014. But really, Ganassi is about as funded as First Row Racing because they already use Hendrick engines, so they're not that funded. Really, they're not that funded. So, yeah, if Ganassi ever shuts down, then you guys will look back and say, hey, that was bad to cheer for. So, yeah, don't cheer for Rex because, Keselowski got hit from every direction in that wreck. And I still don't understand what happened to Keselowski. Did he, miss the brakes? Or did his brakes not work? I don't know what happened. He just he drifted straight into, well, he didn't drift. He just went straight into the turn one wall. And then Larson, Busch, Bain, Hemrick, Blaney a little bit, and then one other car. I think Almirola got hit too. They all started piling in and crashing into each other. So I don't know how that happened. We went red flag. Keselowski, another playoff contender, but this didn't mean much to him since he won Vegas and he's locked into the next round. So Keselowski really didn't need to worry about this too much. Larson got involved. Larson, at this point, was on the cut line. I was really frustrated because of the fact that Larson had a great run and apparently he couldn't steer to the left, but the banking on the Roval helped him with that. But I'll get into why Larson did make the next round, and I know I'm spoiling Larson made the next round. Get the fuck over it. Larson made the next round, and I'll explain more in detail as to why. But yeah, Larson's car was destroyed, and he was on the edge of not even making the next round. So that was really bad for Larson, as he was literally at 1 point gap between Bowman and Boyer. I think Boyer and Blaney moved up, and it was between him and Bowman, I think. I want to say. Before it, Boyer and Bowman were really battling out to get that chase spot. They're Bowman would pass one car. It'd be a 1 point gap between Bowman and Boyer. He would need to pass 3 cars in order to be tied with Boyer and make it to the next round. And Boyer just kept passing the cars back, and it kind of was up and down, who's going to make the round 2 in the playoffs. So before, it was a good battle between Bowman and Boyer for the transfer spot. So that was pretty entertaining, So, yeah, you had the big one at the Roval. Keselowski's out. Kyle Busch is out. But, again, it didn't affect Kyle Busch considering he was already locked into the next round. Plus, Busch even said that, this is stupid. We're all wrecking race cars. So, get props to you, Kyle Busch, for actually saying something I agree with. So, yeah, Bain was in it. He's done after this year, so... Hemrick was in it. I was really upset because Hemrick had a decent run going in today. So really sucks for Daniel Hemrick. I thought he would maybe have a better run, but things happen. So Larson got in it. That was really disappointing. But I'll tell you how he made the next round later. Blaney, he got hit, but he remained in third for the rest of the race. I want to say third or fourth or fifth. So Blaney was still in the top 5 or even the top 10. I don't remember. So after that, we go green. Now, Martin Truex Jr. and Jimmy Johnson are up front. Martin Truex Jr. gets the jump. Truex is leading. You have it's a 3-car battle. As of right now, actually no, it's a 2-car battle. It's between Eric Almirola and Kyle Larson. The more spots Eric Almirola would gain, the more Larson would go under the playoffs. So yeah, be right back for a second. You can look at that. I'm doing something right now. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. I had to do some. Let's take that out of context. Anyway, so Almirola ended up getting ahead of Larson in the cutoff. I was really upset because me personally, I think Larson had an overall better year than Eric Almirola. So far, Larson was below the cutoff. But one to go. It was a battle between my boy Martin Truex Jr. and Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy's done absolute garbage all year. Jimmy Johnson either needs to finish, he needs to either finish second or anything else above to make the next round. And if he wins, he locks himself in. Truex already had a win, so I wasn't going super insane about it. I mean, honestly, being a Truex fan, I wasn't too worried. So, yeah. But Jimmy Johnson, going to turn 17, or turn 16, he gets a good run off the chicane, down the turn 3 and 4 oval NASCAR. He gets a good run on Truex. He locks up the brakes in the turn 16. He spins out and hits Truex. Truex spins out. They're both spun out. Jimmy has to stop. Blaney passes them both because he was in third, and Blaney wins the race. Jimmy stopped. Truex crosses the line and finishes 14th. And Jimmy Johnson has to wait, and then Jeffrey Earnhardt gets spun, and then Larson passes Jimmy Johnson, and so does Eric Almirola. It's a 3-car tie for the transfer spot. And because Jimmy finished the worst and had the worst average finish in Richmond and Vegas, Jimmy was eliminated. Truex dumped Jimmy back at the end of the race because he was upset. To be honest with you, Truex, I understand why you're upset. We're going for a win. That's how it is. But really, in my opinion, this is coming from a Truex fan, as you can tell. I wouldn't be too upset considering you're already locked in the next round. You got the playoff points. You got the momentum. It's nothing too much to worry about, but I do understand. I was a little upset Truex didn't win the race. I wanted him to be the first one to win the Roval. Again, biased opinion. Really sucks for Truex, but really, I don't feel bad. And I understand why Truex is upset. Him and Jimmy Johnson are cool now because Jimmy apologized on Twitter. Really, I don't see why you can really blame Jimmy Johnson there. I mean, he got loose. He locked up the brakes. He slid through the corner and hit Truex. It's a racing incident if you think about it. Same thing happened. I forgot to mention. Truex and Keselowski spun. They had a similar spin earlier where Keselowski locked up the brakes, got sideways, and hit Truex. Truex didn't say anything about that, so, I mean, as a Truex fan, I'm really not too upset. He's locked in the next round. He didn't really lose many playoff points. I mean, sure, he had so much to gain, but in the end, he still got a top 15, which isn't entirely bad. And Jimmy Johnson, man, wow. I genuinely feel bad for him. I genuinely feel bad for him. I think he had a really good car today. He showed us the speed that we've been waiting this entire season to get out of the 48 car. Jimmy Johnson, it sucks that he got eliminated. So the 4 drivers eliminated: Jimmy Johnson, Austin Dillon, Denny Hamlin, Eric Jones. Johnson I predicted, Dillon I predicted, Jones and Hamlin I didn't predict, but they got screwed over at bad runs and crashes. So these 4 drivers, good luck next year. I believe Jimmy Johnson, Jones, and Hamlin will come out next year with a bang, and they will do really good next season. So good luck to them for the rest of the season. Maybe they can get a win. I don't know. Austin Dillon, go fuck yourself. And same with you, Hamlin. So, yeah, it sucks for the 4 drivers who got eliminated. Ryan Blaney, like I said, Ryan Blaney passed them both. He was in third, and Ryan Blaney wins the inaugural race at the Roval, the Bank of America Roval 400. Good for Ryan Blaney. I mean, what else can you say? He was in the right spot at the right time. Ryan Blaney broke a 50-race winless streak. He hadn't won since 2017 Spring Pocono. So good for Ryan Blaney to get his first win at Team Penske and first playoff race win. And Ryan Blaney is locked into the next round. So Ryan Blaney's got 1 win this season, and it's a new winner. So congratulations, Ryan Blaney. You drove consistent all day. I'm happy for Ryan Blaney to win because I do respect Ryan Blaney a lot. I really like Ryan Blaney. Though he may not show emotion, he's definitely one to respect. So congrats to Ryan Blaney. Really sucks for Jimmy Johnson. Truex, I'm upset you didn't win, but hey, you're locked in the next round anyway, so it's nothing to really cry about. Overall, I give this race, I think Jamie McMurray finished second, so good run for McMurray. I don't think he cares anymore considering he won't have a ride next year. The Roval, as you know, it was a NASCAR's new track. new layout for Charlotte. The Roval, I give it a 9.5 out of 10. Reason I give it a 9.5 out of 10, that one restart crash with Keselowski really pissed me off. The fan reaction was terrible. That crash made me upset, and I'm a little upset Truex didn't win, but hey, he's left in the next round anyway. Also, it was cool to see Truex tap Sherry when she was driving the pace car. That was pretty cool. Overall, I give the race a 9.5 out of 10. I definitely think it was a great race. In my opinion, it was the best race of the season. And if Truex was like on the cutoff line, I'd be raging hard right now because that would mean Truex would be eliminated. But I'm not, because Truex was left in the next round. He ended up getting a top 15. There's nothing really I can be too upset about. Plus, he's got a lot of playoff points. So I think, now is a matter to not worry too much, but worry more in the future. So, good for Truex to get a top 15. Thank God my boy is in the next round. Let's go. Almirola and Kyle Larson. Let's talk about that three-way tie. Because Jeffrey Earnhardt spun out and Larson was destroyed, he had such a hard time turning. But because Larson passed Jeffrey Earnhardt, he was able to barely get in. And so was Almirola because he already passed a lot of cars. But Larson, because he passed Jeffrey Earnhardt, was barely able to get in over Jimmy Johnson. Very dramatic. It was a 3-car tie for the transfer spot. So thank God Larson got in, man. That would have sucked if he got eliminated. Because really, Larson's been one of the most consistent drivers out there. So I thought I'd briefly explain that. Very dramatic. Good for Almirola. You've already been doing better than Danica in one season. So, good for Almirola and Larson to move on in the next round. They both deserve it. Sucks for Jimmy, Austin, Hamlin, and Eric Jones. But for them, like Jimmy said, all you can really hope for is the future. So you just kind of got to move on. So, overall, I give this race a 9.5 out of 10. Congratulations, Ryan Blaney. What an amazing finish that was, though. Great racing, great finish. We need more road courses on the schedule, and I think the Roval definitely deserves to be on the schedule and stay on the schedule. NASCAR's already confirmed it. Dale Jarrett and Kyle Petty agree. Roval, we'll see you next year, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.